Hello and welcome to another Big 3 Rumble. If you don't know already, this is a series where I pick a prompt, apply it to all of the Big 3. These are all my opinions, and if you have any other perspectives, I would love to hear them and see them in the comment below. Growing has always been a significant point for all of our MCs in the Big 3. They want to grow stronger, develop new skills, or even master their abilities. But where do they obtain this knowledge? They all have some kind of teacher. For this Big 3 Rumble, I'll be looking at teachers of the Big 3 and seeing which ones come out on top. I am basing my judgment on these things: how impactful the teacher was to the MC, how much stronger did they make the MC, and how well written they are on their own. I know there are other teachers within the series that teach side characters, but I'm going to keep this list focused to just the MC, and I may revisit this topic at another time. Let's get started with last episode's winner, One Piece. There are 3 people that I would like to count as teachers for Luffy: Rayleigh, Shanks, and Katakuri. So why did I put Katakuri on this list? Well, it's solely because I believe you can teach things within a battle. During Luffy and Katakuri's exchange at Whole Cake Island, it is very safe to say that in battling, Luffy was able to use and learn Future Sight, both pushing each other to their absolute limits, and Luffy was definitely growing from that exchange. Yet, that's where the teaching for Katakuri ends and we just move on to Shanks. So Shanks is very different from the others on this list because he's more of a mentor to Luffy, teaching him what it means to be a pirate. Luffy thinking that pirates should fight those who mock them and show their strength all the time. Shanks grounded Luffy and showed him he doesn't have to fight for no reason and to know what you are fighting for. There's a reason why Shanks doesn't destroy that low bounty pirate that poured beer all over his head. No reason for a hydrogen bomb to take out a coughing baby, right? Most importantly would be the sacrifice of Shanks' arm for Luffy. To this day, I don't fully understand why Shanks let his arm go. If he isn't a Devil Fruit user, I would see him easily using Augment Haki to prevent it from happening. Yet, maybe the point was to show sacrifice for those you love and care about. So Shanks really helped form Luffy into the man he is and gave him a goal to prove himself. You know I'm going to be crying when Luffy finally returns the hat to Shanks, and Shanks sees Roger's beautiful smile within Luffy's. I promised myself I wouldn't cry to One Piece, and again, I fail every single time. Rayleigh the Dark King is someone that took Luffy and taught him everything he knows about Haki. This guy made sure just after 2 years, Luffy was able to use 3 different types of Haki. It is not hard to love Rayleigh. I know Shanks plays a big role in who Luffy is, but Rayleigh helped Luffy get closer to his goal of becoming stronger and able to reunite with his friends. Let's not forget that Rayleigh saved the Straw Hat from almost dying to an admiral. Also, one of my favorite moments is when Rayleigh just swam to Amazon Lily. Yeah, he just swam there. My man's a badass. I really wish I can see more of the training with Luffy and him, not just a few flashbacks. Yet, I do have to say, out of the 3 teachers up so far, Rayleigh has made Luffy into a monster, so I will be having Rayleigh represent One Piece in this Rumble. Let's move on to Naruto's teachers. We have 2 for Naruto, which are Jiraiya and Kakashi. Starting with Jiraiya, Jiraiya helped Naruto with a bunch of his development. This is the closest thing to a father figure that he could have. It is also debatable because Jiraiya saw Naruto as a grandson and Iruka Sensei felt more of a father figure early on, yet we can just call it a male role model to just combine the roles. Jiraiya taught Naruto the summoning jutsu and the Rasengan. These were very impactful jutsu that made Naruto a lot stronger. The summoning jutsu helped him defeat Gaara, and the Rasengan just became one of his main jutsus. If Rasengan doesn't work, you haven't tried enough Rasengans. Jiraiya is a very well written character to almost mirror Naruto, and on top of that is written to the point to be entangled into Naruto's story. He trained his father, he trained Nagato, who became a villain for Naruto to overcome if you didn't know already. Another person destined to see Naruto grow up would be Kakashi, who had just as strong effect on Naruto as Jiraiya. I feel a few things to point out. It seemed like at the beginning Kakashi was more focused on Sasuke's development, and it really didn't happen until Shippuden that Kakashi really went out of his way to train Naruto and helping him develop the Rasen Shuriken, helping Naruto understand chakra nature and how to apply it into the incomplete Rasengan. Kakashi is one of those, if not one of the best written characters in Naruto. We are able to see his growth from a child, a teen, and an adult, seeing the different perspectives of him and how he coped with loss. But it isn't enough to like Kakashi, so let me show you Dual EMS Kakashi. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm never gonna say that shit wasn't the coolest thing I've ever seen. I sadly can only pick one of these goats to represent, so I'm gonna have to go with Jiraiya to represent Naruto in this rumble. Let's move on to Bleach. For Bleach, I have 3 teachers, but let's first start off with the obvious, and that's Urahara, which helped Ichigo unlock his Soul Reaper powers on top of how to use Getsuga Tensho. We also see that he always comes in clutch in solving these intense issues, like how to get Ichigo and his friends into the Soul Society, how to save Ichigo's mom from not being killed by White, and also how to give everyone their Bankai back after the second invasion of the Quincy's. Not to mention, he pretty much has a whole arc dedicated to him. I think Urahara is very clever and an intense character. Can't wait to see his Bankai in the 1000 Year Blood War anime. Secondly, I have Yoruichi. Sorry, where was I again? Oh yeah, the list. I have her on here because she did assist Ichigo with his Bankai training, but I do have to give credit to Urahara because he was the one who created the device to help users achieve Bankai at a fast rate, but she also helped Ichigo understand things while he's in the Soul Society. More of an informational type of teaching, not much to be said, but I will love to get to my final pick on this list. Finally, we have Hollow Ichigo or Zangetsu. My lovely editor, Hollow, disagreed with me about having Hollow Ichigo be a teacher due to the nature of his teaching method. For example, these teachers up to this point are very caring and wanting to help the MC without hiding any of their intentions. Yet, why do I think Hollow Ichigo is a good teacher? It is because he uses reality and fear that is in Ichigo's heart against him. Hollow Ichigo wants nothing but to protect and keep Ichigo safe, showing up to save him when he needed it most. Like the Hollow Mask protecting him against his fight against Kenpachi, taking over against Byakuya, and against Ukiura. These do look like someone trying to take over, but I think it's fear that helps motivate Ichigo to become stronger because he doesn't want the Hollow to take over. This might be a bit weird of a take, but I'm gonna go with Hollow Ichigo to represent Bleach in this rumble. Now that we have our contestants, let's see where they rank in this episode of the Big 3 Rumble. In bronze, we have Rayleigh. Okay, no. Before you start typing, please hear me out. I will not discredit the fact that Rayleigh had the biggest impact in terms of strength increase to Luffy in just those 2 years alone. Rayleigh did so much for Luffy in terms of a power-up. He taught him how to use Haki in combat and also helped Luffy see how enemies he fought up to this point used and applied Haki, also showing him that Logia users can be hit by using Haki. This development helps and really allows Luffy to close the gap on so many opponents that he's fought up to this point, allowing him to utilize Haki in his current fighting style. It is really easy to say that Rayleigh gave Luffy a significant power boost in the time skip. There's no questioning that. But I feel besides that, there isn't a big connection with Luffy we are able to see on screen. I would have loved to see more on-screen training. We do see flashback, but seeing them in their current time bonding and then they're doing their training would have been so much better. Narratively, he's written to be a badass old man that can hold his own against the strongest in the series. Really just doesn't seem to have a strong enough bond with Luffy over other characters on this list. It is hard for me to put the Dark King so far down here. I just feel like I am not invested in the relationship between Rayleigh and Luffy compared to others on this list. Coming in silver, we have Hollow Ichigo. I think this is my spiciest pick, so I really have to explain myself. Hollow Ichigo is a great teacher for Ichigo because he's been there for every step of the way during his journey. Examples like his fight with Byakuya, coming in against the captain and doing notable damage was insane. This might just seem like him protecting someone, but through the battle in Ichigo's world, we're able to see that Ichigo learns through his encounters with Hollow Ichigo, teaching Ichigo how to fight, using the wrap of his sword to extend his range, and also the Getsuga Tensho with his Bankai activated. Hollow Ichigo has a very iconic speech about a king and his horse. Within this speech, I feel like he taught Ichigo that his battle instincts were very much lacking. He needs to think left and fight more. Hollow Ichigo comes off as the person that wants to completely take control over Ichigo, but I feel like this is a real big red herring. It makes us believe that this person wants nothing more than to take control of Ichigo's body. Due to Hollow Ichigo being Zangetsu all along, he wanted nothing more than to help Ichigo protect himself. If he died, then Ichigo will not be able to protect the people that he loved. A different spin on the whole teaching role, but I do believe this is the reason that Ichigo was able to finally and truly accept him. Coming in gold would be our GOAT of a teacher, Pervy Sage. Jiraiya is one of the greatest teachers in all of Naruto. He literally made 3 god tier shinobis, with Minato becoming the 4th Hokage, Nagato becoming literal god, and Naruto literally blowing past all of that and reaching even greater height. Jiraiya on his own is a very interesting and well-written character. He sees himself as a failure, which is really similar to Naruto's situation. Jiraiya also taught Naruto 2 impactful jutsu, being the summoning jutsu and the Rasengan. Yet, it is important to know that the bond between both Naruto and Jiraiya can be seen throughout all of their training. To me, it comes off as a grandfather and grandson, which is how Jiraiya sees Naruto. Their bond is obviously very, very strong, and we can see that through their interactions. That damn popsicle scene has me crying every fucking time. We all know that Jiraiya died in his fight against Pain, and we see how crushed Naruto became. He went through so many stages of grief and just went into a deep depression. The bond they shared went past teacher and student. They were family. Jiraiya sees Minato as a son and Naruto as his grandson. He was invested in Naruto's growth, and it broke my heart that Jiraiya would never see Naruto become the hero that he knew that he could be. The only downside of Jiraiya as a teacher compared to the others would be the time skip from the first series to Shippuden. I didn't feel like it was really needed. I did think Naruto got a lot stronger, but it felt like it wasn't a big jump compared to Ichigo Bankai or Luffy's 2-year training. But besides that, I do think Jiraiya stands on top. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I would love to know who you put on your list and how you would rank them. Please make your voice heard in the comments below. I will do my best to respond to all of you. If you have an idea for another episode of the Big 3 Rumble, please leave in the comment below and I will give you credit at the beginning of the next Big 3 Rumble. Please subscribe if you feel like I've earned it. With that being said, I'll see you when I see ya.